Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Life Midwest podcast. This is episode 12. 12. I'm your host, Kevin, alongside Wes.
Hello.
That was Wes. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate you. Hey, we have some really cool stuff that we're going to talk about today. Got some cool stories for you. Got some... It's been a fun week, and I can't wait to talk about it. Wes, how we doing, bud?
Oh, we doing real good. How about you?
Great. It's warm again.
Oh my God, I thought you would never mention it. Today I woke up and it was like 70 degrees. I kid you not.
And we're not recording tomorrow, so it'll probably be 40.
Honestly.
It's just the way things go around here. Folks, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this. We're going to start with the segment that we started last week with what do we have on repeat? Wes, I'm going to let you go first here, bud.
I have a quick question about the meat and potatoes, though.
Okay.
Can the potatoes be mashed?
The potatoes can be served any way you wish.
Cool, we eating mashed taters today, boys.
Okay, the meat and mashed taters.
But what's the meat?
What?
What's the meat?
What's the meat? Like, what you want me to tell you? Like ribeye? Like, is that what you're asking?
Like, what's on the menu, bro?
Your mom.
Okay. So, Kevin, I have been listening to a rap duo for a while now, but like, I've been listening to them a lot recently. Their name is Run the Jewels.
Big Quan and Little John.
Close. I mean, I think Little John's from Atlanta too. All the rappers I listen to are apparently from Atlanta. So Run the Jewels is a mixture of Killer Mike, an Atlanta rapper, and LP, a New York rapper. And they're heavy dissonance, heavy political commentary, and they go hard. So I've been listening to I think they have 4 albums at this point. All 4 of their albums just on a playlist on Spotify. It's so good. Like two of the best rappers out there these days. IMO.
What about the guy you mentioned last week?
JID?
Yeah.
Well, he go hard too.
Well, where is he on your list?
Oh, you're gonna make me do a list of best rappers?
No, but I'm saying you're sitting here like, oh, they're number 1 and number 2. Like,
well, no. I don't know about number 1 and number 2. They're just like, their quality is above the majority.
Okay, gotcha. Tell me more about the dissidents.
They see trouble in the world, especially topical current events. And then they make witty raps and like sometimes really powerful raps about those situations. They have a song called Walking in the Snow, which is from their most recent album, which kind of tackles the issue of poverty and hatred and prejudice, racism, and how it like hurts everyone in the long run. And it's just really powerful music that also goes really hard. You should check it out if you haven't heard it.
I'll give it a whirl. I'm not familiar with it, so.
I shared that song with my mom, and she's like this, older white lady who would never listen to like profane hip hop. And she's like, wow, that's true.
I had no fucking idea that your mom was white.
I mean, I've seen a goose or two, and now I know.
Woo!
What have you been listening to this week on repeat?
I thought you'd never ask. Kings of Leon came out with a new album this week. It's called When You See Yourself. It's their 8th studio album, and man, I cannot get away from it. They were on Good Morning America this week, and on Ellen too. Yesterday they were on Ellen. The song that's really stuck in my brain right now is called A Wave. contrary to the one that they're playing whenever they play live called The Bandit. Not a bad single, just not the one that's kind of stuck in my head from the album. They've taken this very, I don't know, you ever listen to a band and they just have this like summer vacation type of feel?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I would describe this new record. It's just good. There isn't really one terrible song on it. And usually when I listen to something, I sit there and I'm like, okay, there's at least one or two tracks where you're going to skip over. And that might be the case, I think, in a couple of weeks. But for the first couple of listen throughs, and I like to listen through an album in its entirety. You know, it's like a book, you know, from like, you know, beginning to end. You don't really skip around or play shuffle. Maybe you do once you've listened to it a few times. I don't know. Don't ruin the analogy.
Once you pick out your favorite 3 songs and overplay them to the point where you dislike them, yeah.
It's true. It is true. So yeah, check it out. Run the Jewels. Did you have a song in particular or album in particular that you...
It's all super relevant and all super fire. So, like, start with the first album, then listen to the second album, then listen to the third album, then listen to the fourth album, and then, like, shuffle them all together in a playlist, and it never gets old.
Just to piss you off, I'm going to listen to them all in Star Wars order.
Oh, well, I mean, you can do that, too.
And again, for me, it's A Wave by Kings of Leon, but check out the whole entire new album When You See Yourself. Really, really, really good stuff.
Hold up. Before we end this, give me a comparison of how hard this album slaps in comparison to other summer feel albums. Like The Boys of Summer, for example. That's a good summer song.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's up there. I wouldn't say it's there. It's just got this certain vibe to it that's good.
Well, I'll definitely check them out. I used to listen to them.
Even if you've listened to Kings of Leon before, they've evolved a little bit. And I think even if they weren't really your particular go-to back in the day, that could change with this album because it's a little bit different. It's a little bit polished. It's a little bit evolved. Yeah, give it a go. Give it a go. Folks, it's time now to talk about That's Life in the Midwest. That's our segment, everybody. Thanks for joining us. No, just kidding. So, I don't know that this is necessarily a Midwest thing, but I feel like the way that the turn of events went, the dialogue, just the way everything kind of happened, makes it a Midwest thing. So as you all know, I have a dog named Mac. It's a golden retriever. He's a very fluffy boy. He's a very good boy. Except for when he isn't. So normally when we're outside with Mac, we, you know, if the neighbors are out, he'll go and he'll run over and say hi because he's just like, oh, people, you know, whenever he sees them. And there's just been times where, you know, he goes out and he does his business and maybe we don't see where he goes. Usually we do. And if I ever see him go in the neighbor's yard, I'm very certain to make sure I immediately clean up after him. Well, apparently a couple of times over the winter when there's been, you know, snow and all that hiding it, apparently he's been going in the neighbor's yard. The following dialogue is how I found out. I was outside with Mac yesterday morning and noticed my neighbor outside working and gave him a wave and he didn't say anything back and took 2 steps towards the house and goes, hey, will you do me a favor? I go, yeah, what's up? He goes, you know, we don't mind Mac coming into the yard or anything, but just make sure you're cleaning up after him. And you know, you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach where somebody tells you something that you don't want to hear. So basically, Mac has been shitting in my neighbor's yard, and I had no idea.
You're bringing the neighborhood down, Kevin. It's terrible.
It was so embarrassing because I feel like I'm very diligent about it, and so it just makes me look irresponsible.
You see that house on the corner? That son of a bitch lets his dog shit anywhere. You're now that guy.
And now it's to the point where, like, Ashley and I made cookies and dropped them off at the door. Like, that's, like, I think that's the most Midwestern part thing of it, is that we made apology cookies for our neighbors because their dog was shitting in the yard. And we didn't know. I didn't know. Mike and Amy, if you're listening, I didn't know.
Mac's a good boy.
He's just shaking his head. I'm trying to tell him this story, and Wes is literally 6 feet away from me, just shaking his head with disapproval. I'm sorry, Dad.
Utter disdain. Fuck you and your dog. I'm kidding. Mac's a good boy.
Yeah, he really is. Like, and the entire day yesterday, I was mad at him, but I wasn't like, I didn't show him that I was mad at him. It was more so just, oh my gosh, really? Like, why do you have to act like a dog? Like, what the fuck am I going to say to him, you know? It's just part of owning a dog, I guess. That's life in the Midwest. Hey, before we go to break, Wes, you learn anything cool this week?
Cool's a word. I'm not sure what I learned was cool. I suppose I did learn something, and this actually goes into, I guess, that being life in the Midwest. So recently, I got a job, mentioned that last episode, and part of my job is to talk with people over the phone. Maybe last summer, one of my friends brought it to my attention that I say, have a good one, before we part ways, regardless of who I'm talking to. It's always, have a good one. And he's like, that is the most Midwestern shit I've ever heard. And I finally realized it. I say that at the end of every single phone call. Have a good one. Have a good one. So yeah, I learned that I do actually say that all the time. And also, apparently, that is a Midwestern thing. I don't hear people from other parts of the country saying, have a good one.
See, and I started saying it because I heard my mom say it all the time growing up, living out here. But I don't think I've heard it anywhere else either.
I don't know.
It's just, it's laid back. It's relaxed. It's very, unlike the very formal, like, well, have a good afternoon. Like, I don't know, like, unless I'm talking in like a formal setting, I'm not going to tell them to have a good whatever time of day it is. I'm just not.
It's so try hard. You can just be like, so one can be anything. Have a good afternoon, evening, trip, journey, adventure. It's just one.
Like, imagine having a conversation with your child and saying, like, well, enjoy the rest of your day. Like, I almost feel like there's this subtext of, like, well, it might be your last. Hope you enjoy it. I took you into this world. I'm going to take you out of it. God bless it. I don't know. It just, as much as I make fun of the Midwest, have a good one. It's just wholesome, man.
Yeah, you could be talking about anything. Have a good bowl of cereal for all I care. Just have a good one.
I love it. Folks, when we come back from the break, we've got emails and reviews and Massachusetts Man. It's a good one this week. Stick around. Welcome back to the Live Midwest podcast, the only podcast where we spend the entire episode, every episode, talking about areas all over the country except for ours. Why? Because nothing happens here. I'm your host, Kevin, alongside Wes. Hello. And if you're looking for ways to support us in that beautiful sultry voice that you just heard, we've got all of our socials at the Life Midwest. Send us an email at support@thelifemidwest.com. We also do have Patreon. It's live here. We're actually going to get into that in just a moment here, talking a little bit more about that. But reviews, yes, leave us reviews. We like reviews, especially right now where we're at this pivotal point in the direction of the podcast. A little bit more laid back, a little bit more Midwestern, having a Yingling with two bros that you've never met.
All of our listeners have met us.
No, that's not true. We have listeners in Ireland, Brazil, and India that I guarantee you I haven't met. The UK, Thailand, and Japan, and United States, yes, probably. But actually, I was looking at our demographic. This is interesting. I was looking at our demographic earlier today, and I noticed that we had somebody age 65 plus that listens to us.
That's exciting.
I'm trying to figure out who that could be in our life.
You said 60, how much plus?
65 plus.
Like
my mom listens to us. Hi, Mom, what's up? But she's not 65.
My mom listens to us. She's only like 83, though.
Oh, my God.
She's going to beat my ass.
She is going to beat the shit out of you. Well, this might be our last episode, folks. So it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
I mean, it could just be a random person giving us a listen. Oh, hey, I'm from the Midwest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I guess my point is that we maybe don't know everyone that we...
Did you tell your grandma about our show?
I didn't. I swear too much to tell her about it.
Yeah, I haven't told like anyone who doesn't know that I have just an absolute potty mouth. I don't want to open that bag of worms.
I think there's enough people out there who think they have enough ammunition to hate on either one of us.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to give them more. It's time now for our email and review segment.
Well, that was quick.
We have emails from Twitter still, because for some reason Wes and I continue to drop the ball on fixing that. So no emails to report this week. I don't think we have any reviews either. We do have a few 5 stars. We've been left a few fivers on iTunes. Haven't checked the other platforms this week. Have you, Wes?
I haven't.
Yeah, I only really look at iTunes just because it's so easy to do.
I check Spotify, but they don't have like a rating system.
Yeah. Want to give a shout out to the 2% of listeners on Overcast and Google Podcasts. Glad to know that there are people who use other platforms. Good for you. It's kind of like me and not using an ad blocker. We're all just good people.
Nice people.
We're just nice people. Wes, I'm gonna kick it over to you because I want you to talk about. Well, we don't have an email or review this week. There is something special that we do have.
That's right. We finally have a Patreon subscriber.
Whoa, so good.
And we could not be more happy. It's awesome. We got, what was the platform, Twitter or Facebook that we got the message from?
Twitter. I got on Twitter this morning, and I'd gotten a tweet from one of my buddies that I went to high school with, one of my closest friends, who said, "Congrats on your," in parentheses, "first," question mark, in parentheses, patron. And I was like, whoa. So I looked at our Patreon, and lo and behold, my best friend from high school, Lenny W. I appreciate you, man. Our first patron. Hopefully the first of many. He subbed to the $5 tier, which gets you a shout out in the visual podcast, a shout out on the podcast right now, which is what we're doing. Access to anything that we post on the Patreon, and I think we have the tier described as buying us tacos. So we're going to get some tacos after this.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't know where we're from though. Where do you want to get them from?
Who makes tacos around these parts?
McDonald's.
Well, that's a place I'm not eating tacos. Oh, I mean, I eat tacos from Taco Bell, and it's a lateral movement. You know what, McDonald's, you do you. Make a taco.
Yeah, you may as well. You know, you do everything else. You took away the damn bagel, though. Can you believe that?
They don't have, like, bacon, egg, and cheese bagels?
No. At some point during the pandemic, they stopped doing the bagels. Hey, since we have some listeners around different parts of the country and in the world, get at us at our socials or email us at support@thelifemidwest.com. Does your McDonald's have these bagels, or has it just been like globally canceled with this pandemic? Let us know. I don't feel like Googling it.
Right.
I'd rather talk into a microphone and yeah. I'd rather talk into a microphone and you just answer and tell me what's going on. So, that's your job this week. We'll leave that up to you. Folks, it's time now for Massachusetts Man. Boy, do I have a good one for you this week, Wes. Are you ready for this?
I don't know. Am I ready?
I don't know.
I'm not ready for that face.
He's got this like smirk, like, yep, I did it. I'm here. The headline is this is from ABC affiliate WCVB5 in Massachusetts. This is FBI arrests Pittsfield man in connection with charges related to the U.S. Capitol riot.
I'm assuming Pittsfield is in Massachusetts.
Pittsfield is in Massachusetts.
I heard that place is the pits. You can just remove me from this entire
Get out. Yep. Federal agents on Tuesday arrested a Massachusetts man facing multiple charges in connection with the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. Troy Sargent of Pittsfield is the seventh person to be arrested by the FBI's Boston Division in connection with the riot. According to a case document provided by the FBI, agents received numerous tips about Sargent's presence at the riot. Two of those tips included a selfie of Sargent in front of a line of police in riot gear.
Yeah, I'm committing a crime. What about it?
And he's just got this, like, I don't know. It's almost like he's standing in front of, like, a monument or something. He's just got this, like, it's not a smug look. It's just this, you know how, like, you have that smile, like, that slight smile without showing any teeth? It's a white guy's smile. Like if you're at work and you're using the copy machine and your coworker walks in clearly to use the copy machine, you give that, like, look. That's what he's doing. That is exactly what he's doing.
The look of discomfort and possibly a bowel movement. but also like, oh well, using.
The special agent who wrote the document, a member of the Joint Terrorism Task Force, also noted that the investigation discovered footage showing Sargent on a body camera from an officer with the Metropolitan Police Department. One segment of the video shows him taking a selfie in front of the officers, consistent with the image included in some of the tips. Sargent moves forward to the front of the line, appears to throw a punch with his right hand at a police officer, inadvertently strikes another member of the crowd, and then retreats back into the crowd, the special agent wrote. Bro, this guy doesn't even know how to do mosh pits.
Retreats into the crowd of the people he punched. Yeah, I'm out of here.
Goes to punch an officer, misses, punches somebody else in the crowd, and then tries to retreat back within the crowd. If I'm in that crowd, I'm like, here, this is him. This is... Oh, man. And, of course, there's videos showing the altercation and all that good stuff. Hey, I know it's probably not super obvious, but I'm going to go ahead and say something anyways. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. What happened on January 6th was disgusting. And everyone is entitled to their own opinions and their own views because that's the way this country works. But man, no opinion is worth whatever the hell that was that happened. It's really not. How do you go to punch a police officer and then miss and then hit someone else in the crowd?
So a big old swing and a miss.
I just can't get over that part of the story. I'm literally going to be sitting here thinking about it until next episode, actually.
You ever just like really wind up on a punch? Like just overextend? Like animated, like cartoon style? And then you just like the cop steps out of the way. I can see it happening.
No, because I've never tried to punch a fucking police officer.
Yeah, that's not very smart.
No, it's not. No, it's not at all. All right, man. Hey, before we get out of here, you got anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out to that man who friendly fired his people. Shout out to that police officer that sidestepped his dumbass. Shout out to Run the Jewels, LP Killer Mike. Them two literally are probably my favorite musicians. Brilliant.
Tune in next week to where he just brings up another Atlanta artist.
You might not be wrong. Shout out to Have a Good One. And that's me, I think.
Man, you took a lot of the good ones. I would also like to shout out Have a Good One. I'd also like to shout out Swing and a Miss Man. I definitely want to shout out to our first patron again, Lenny.
Oh, yeah, yes, me too. Thank you, Lenny.
No, your time is done.
You got a little bit
the fuck out of here. I removed you from this podcast 15 minutes ago.
You do have a point.
I do have a point. He does have a point.
I'm gonna go crap on your neighbor's lawn.
But you see, the thing is, you got to make it look like, you know what? We're going to debate this later. Folks, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Hit us up at our socials at the Live Midwest. Make sure you tell us about the whole bagel situation at your local McDonald's in your part of the world. And we'll see you all next week. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart when I say it. Have a good one.
Have a good one.